Welcome to Toffee TV. It is the final word. Everton 2, Bournemouth 0. Everton getting much deserved 3 points. Well, I'll say much deserved. Much needed. Much needed. Baz is feeling slightly under the weather. So at any time he just
coughs or
keels over.
Sleeps.
Just leave him to it. Just leave him to it. It even kept you away from the game, didn't he?
Never missed a game and missed a game. Lay on the couch and realise why I never ever listen to pundits.
But when did some Man United anyway?
Yeah, didn't even mention. The minute the game finished, they didn't mention Everton again. And before it started, they didn't mention Everton. So
again, another reason why you should watch Toffee TV and subscribe to Patreon, and you get all the insight you need. This video is sponsored by OneFootball. OneFootball's app makes it easy to keep up to date with transfer news, scores and stats in one place. To download the OneFootball app, click the link in the description. So Bournemouth at home. As we said, these games are always close affairs. They're always nip and tuck, and we made a couple of changes. Left Lookman in the side from the cup game, brought Coleman back at right back. Richarlison played up front.
Took Mina out.
Obviously Mina went out. Keane came back into the side. Gomez back into the middle of the park. So quite strong team. Obviously, what you'd imagine. Were you surprised by any changes? Coleman possibly coming in?
Maybe Coleman, but even Mina, I thought it'd be Keane and Mina, to be honest. But you can kind of understand why he's put Seamus back in for the XP. I know, depends what he wants to do with Jonjo. If he doesn't think Jonjo's done enough in those 2 games, then he's not going to stay in, is he? I thought he'd done alright against Leicester for an hour, and I thought he'd done okay last week. Do
you think that might be a case of, I know it was Jonjo and Lookman last week, but do you think it might be a case of, back to Premier League, you've got a player who's only making his 2nd Premier League start of the season, Lookman, so having that little bit of experience behind him, just to keep things ticking over, or
maybe. But I think he's better on the left anyway than he is on the right, because I think that's dictated by who is behind him. I think even yesterday when he went out to the left, he looked a lot better because Dean was flying past him, whereas on the right Coleman doesn't do that anymore.
I just don't think
tends to come inside.
I just don't think Coleman can do that job anymore. And I know we've mentioned this a few times.
That's the way it is.
And people are maybe critical of it. Some people might have been critical of us for it. But I mentioned yesterday on my video about, I think Kevin Kilban had mentioned in a podcast about Seamus Coleman. Number one, again, I didn't hear it, but someone mentioned in the comments that they'd listened to it. And again, this yarn getting spun that somehow Evertonians are having a go at Seamus Coleman, which is just utter, it's nonsense. It's utter nonsense. Evertonians are allowed an opinion about a player. I've heard nobody say anything bad about Seamus Coleman. Alright, you get the odd dickhead saying maybe something on Twitter, or the tone of the way they criticise him, but I think most Evertonians just say, listen, the lad missed a year of his career, and you watch him now and you can tell that he's not the same player, and doesn't quite have the confidence of the same player. And as Evertonians, you have to look at that and say, well, if that's the case, we have to start preparing ourselves. And that's all I've heard Blues say. And to spin this yarn that somehow Blues are, he's been at you for, I think you said something last week about someone who's writing for Joe. Obviously Joe's an Irish publication. They were saying, it's a disgrace, been brilliant for 10 years at Everton. We know he's been brilliant for 10 years at Everton, but that doesn't mean that you can let him not have a conversation, about his form or what comes next.
He kind of gave himself away though, didn't he? Because he then went to the Anfield for back him up to say, imagine if your fans were like that, or if like Reds were like that or something.
Maybe it's the length of the grass at Goodison.
I think it might be. Or maybe it's just not enough death threats when he hasn't played well. Because, you know, that's what... If he was going to the Anfield Wrap and Liverpool fans, that's kind of what their social media do, don't they, when a player doesn't have a good game. The thing with James Coleman is, and Kilban had said this, and I've heard other people say it about many different footballers, is, and you know at any level of football you've played, once you hit a certain age, you're not the same player, because physically you can't be the same player. When you've had an injury, a bad injury, of course that's going to shorten that length of time. I haven't heard anyone saying get rid of him, he's awful, because he's not awful, but he's not the same player. Now what do? You just not put up with, but you just accept and go, well, alright, he's not the same player, it doesn't matter, so we'll just keep him as he is, and we'll lose a bit of what we need to go higher. So if we want to do that, to get Jags back in as well, because Jags is a good defender.
And Bainesy.
And Baines, get Baines in, because he's, you know, I love Leighton, absolutely love Leighton Baines, but on no earth or universe or galaxy do I think he should be getting in over Luca Dean at the moment, because he shouldn't be. So just because, you know, you're looking at Seamus and going, you know, maybe we need to look at this a little bit differently, maybe we need someone different in front of him, or maybe we need someone different at right back. That's the way, that's football. That's football. Football moves on. It happened with Tim Howard, who was good for a number of years, then went off it. Sylvain Distin was good and then went off it. Gareth Barry was brilliant, but then went off it. Different things, shortened careers.
And I seen a little moment yesterday that I thought sort of showed Seamus. I think it was in the second half, and Seamus got the ball on the right, and their winger came to close him down, and he tried to take him on the outside, and then suddenly realised he couldn't do it, and then he tried to turn, and in turning nearly lost the ball. He didn't lose the ball, but I think it was that split second of, oh, I can beat you because that's what I've always done. And I think that's the change that Seamus Coleman needs to make as a player, is that when he gets that ball, he has to remember that he mightn't be able to beat that player anymore.
But the problem is, though, what you've just said, though, it's not even necessarily mechanically. He might still be able to beat him mechanically. In a foot race, it's there. It's knowing then, it's stopping and going, actually, can I beat you? He never, ever, ever hesitated. Years ago, he just knocked that and go. And if he lost it, he'd leave one on the fella over it, because he knew that at times he would get beyond him. Yesterday, certainly the first half an hour, I looked at Nathaniel Klein and thought, that's what we need.
Yeah, he was brilliant yesterday. He had a really good game.
I've seen some Liverpool fans saying that shows you why we play a teenager instead of him. He's
I thought he was brilliant yesterday.
He was, for about an hour, he was good, and then he faded.
Good tell us.
Well, he hadn't played, has he?
No.
Last time, well, funnily enough, last time he played was for Liverpool, and he beat Arsenal 5-1. But what I meant was his ability to just bomb down the line, and it's not necessarily...
No hesitation.
That's it. It's not necessarily saying he's better than Seamus Coleman, but there's no thing in his head. There's no thing of, I can't get past this lad, or do I or don't I think that's what's causing Seamus more problems really than anything else, is his indecisiveness.
I mean, we started the game pretty poorly. I mean, really, really poorly. We couldn't get out of our own half. We kept on losing the ball. There was no tempo to our play. It was just sloppy all round. It was just, I was looking out for the first 20 minutes, and listen, they kept the ball. They were winning the ball back really well, high up the pitch. David Brooks was a real problem. He looks a really talented player. Reminds me of Tim Cahill in a way. He's also got a little bit of a swagger about him as well. When he won the foul off Bernard, when he sucked him in with that lovely little, he looked over to the glass and get this little smile, and I thought, I like that. I've got no problem with that. I like someone who knows.
I had a problem with him diving in the box.
Oh, I don't know. I've seen it again. I think we might have just lucky there. Another day.
Well, it was a foul first. He grabs down the shit.
Yeah, but we'll talk about the ref later.
When you've got 3 reds in the studio, all saying it was a foul, free kick to Everton, and you know that there's no way on earth it wasn't anything but that. But carry on.
He played well.
He's
a good player. He's very good.
He faded, like, didn't he?
Yeah, he faded as well.
The first half an hour, we couldn't live with him.
You couldn't live with him. And really, he should have scored.
Well, there was spotlight on it. You looked at that first half an hour and you went, that's what we haven't got. We haven't got a number 10. Because I was looking at Sigurdsson, who for the first half was horrendous, and I mean horrendous. I think he touched the ball 6 times. He was dreadful.
But they don't.
But he doesn't run around like him.
But he played like a split striker, didn't he? And looked at him every time they went forward. He were 4-4-2, and every time they were going back, he went into midfield. We started doing that second half, and I think that's what changed the game for me. Which we'll come on to. That's what changed the game, I think. And we'll talk about that in a bit. But I just thought that he was
excellent.
He was excellent.
Him and Fraser were there.
Their aggression, their aggression kept us on the back foot. But it exposed for me the system that we play, and how when it doesn't work, it just doesn't work, and how isolated people, like your centre forward is with Charlison. Couldn't get him into the game because he's not that kind of centre forward. He always had his back to the goal as well, which was basically happening the whole game. And that for me exposed that when this system, when players are not confident and when they're not moving the ball fast, how poorly this system works, because then your centre forward is isolated, then your wingers feel like they're not taking part in the forward play, and they're picking the ball up in their own half, and they really capitalised that and put us on the back foot, and we were really lucky to get through that half an hour.
We most definitely were. I'll point to Gylfi Sigurdsson as the problem in this formation. I've said it when he came that he's not a number 10. People try to tell me differently, but he's not a number 10 in terms of if you want to play this kind of system, because he ain't mobile enough. And David Brooks highlighted that yesterday. When we played Burnley away, which has been our best performance for a while, he was deeper, Sigurdsson. We had Dominic Calvert-Lewin up front, but our 2 wingers, Walcott and Bernard, that day were tight to the forward, so they were involved in the game all the time. We had 2 midfield players who could pass the ball and move the ball around. In that situation, when you've got a team like Bournemouth who were pressing and getting around the pitch quite quickly, Gylfi slows it down a lot in that number 10 position, because we said it last week, he receives the ball with his back to goal too much, so he's almost like the centre. In fact, you could almost flip him and Richarlison because Richarlison wants to go that way, where Gylfi's receiving everything and turning. I don't think he can pick. But the difference in the second half was he got himself alongside Richarlison, and then other moments he dropped deep alongside Gomez, so the pitch opened up for him. Whereas in the first half he was just stuck in the middle and he was too slow for there.
But don't you think that's the system as well, though? The system.
Yeah, but if you've got a lad in there who's got mobility.
Yeah, but what I mean is though is that in the first half I didn't think he was playing anywhere. He was just getting stuck.
Just anonymous.
Just nowhere. And you're right. The amount of time Garner picks up the ball, he's picking up the ball and not doing anything with it because he hasn't got that ability, and that's fine. And that's where you look at it and say Sigurdsson should be playing deeper. But then the second half showed that when he gets it right and they move him. So that's what I'm saying. Is he actually playing as a number 10? Because
I don't know.
Second half he played like a number 10 because he played like a split striker second half.
Everybody picked it up second half. The problem you had in the first half was Garner and Gomez give the ball away more than anybody. Carragher pointed.
I agree.
The 2 of them. Gomez was playing passes that weren't even on, hitting and putting us under pressure, knocking balls blindly back without looking. He was really poor for me yesterday. Got better second half, him and Garner, the pair. Well, all of us got better.
But that's what I'm saying about the shape. I don't think complimented anyone first half because it just.
And don't forget the big thing as well. Whether people like it or not, whether we like it or not, is confidence. You could tell there wasn't a grain of confidence in our play yesterday. There was nowhere. You look at them and go, why are you so fragile? I know we haven't been playing well, but good teams come through that. And
I thought once we got through that period, I think a couple of things. I think we started to go. I think second half especially, I think we got our foothold into the game towards the end of the first half. We started making a few more chances. I think the crossover of Lookman and Bernard helped, but what helped was actually not them playing out wide as such, but the times when he come through the middle, and when they almost crossed over and started getting the ball, they started creating more.
You move people around them.
The one I think that illustrated it most was when Lookman came off the left, played the 1-2 with Richarlison, and then got it wide to Coleman. Yeah. And Seamus, maybe old Seamus would have had a smash at that. But his cross wasn't the worst cross in the world.
I thought he'd done everything he could. There was a good ball, and if it cleared the first man, Bernard was in the middle, he might have got.
But then even that though, even if it being a good ball, there's no one in the box.
Bernard's there, but
it's only Bernard.
There's one person, and that was we had the other one where towards the end of the first half where it came in. Might have been Bernard. He put
from the left, and he whipped it right through.
And there was two, wasn't it? Lookman almost got on one at the far post, and then Lookman put one on, and Bernard almost. So we had our moments, but I mean the first half an hour. Credit to Bournemouth because they closed us down, broke quickly, and were in our faces. And you know, we make a Zuma makes a. Who I thought I've seen people saying he was outstanding. I think your mind when you're at the match doesn't follow what's actually going on, because the first half he was dreadful.
Oh, we were all terrible.
Even Carragher was saying he's Keane's the one keeping him in the game here, because he was all up. The one that day at the post. It was exactly the same as Spurs. Zuma deals with it immediately.
Oh, I didn't.
Right, if he deals with that immediately, there's no danger, but he doesn't. He tries to wrestle Joshua King, and King's too strong for him. He just shoves him off. The crowd screaming for a foul, and it was never a foul.
You're right. I mean, he did have hold of Zuma's shirt, but
he had hold of him.
That's the same with everything. You've got to deal with that straight away. You've got to out-muscle him and just...
There's an opportunity for him just to kick it out, and he doesn't. He hesitates, and then he loses the battle. It's the same. If you look back, I watched the thingy before because I was thinking, is that the same? It was the Sun goal. I know Pickford runs out, but there's a moment where Zuma can just put it into the padding and go, and he doesn't. He hesitates, and then two run in, and it was the same yesterday. I mean, Brooks made a brilliant run. It was a great ball. Thought he was offside at first, but he wasn't. It was a brilliant run, and he. As he knocks it past Pickford, you're thinking it's in, aren't you? And luckily for us, and maybe that was the difference yesterday. We had a little bit of the rub of the green.
And even it's the post and doesn't fall.
Falls. But we'd already had one with the... I mean, it was 4-2, it's just the way it got through, but the one where Joshua King stabbed in, it almost went under Pickford. But I think after that, we kind of crowd got. I think Anthony Taylor helped the crowd.
Yeah. Well, second half we you know, the referee had been pouring. Second half we came out, and I think two things. I think the conditions started to. It wasn't hilarious, but you wouldn't have seen this. But when the rain started coming down towards the end of the first half, it was blowing into the Bullens, so everybody in the paddock had to basically evacuate.
I wouldn't see that anyway.
No.
From where I sit.
But everyone had to evacuate out of those seats because everyone was just getting soaked. And so everyone, because it was just because that's so open, isn't it? So all those people were running to the back, hiding. So that weather was pouring down. And then obviously you mentioned
at the bar, didn't he?
Yeah, we just did the bar, but that weather just started coming down, and I think with that and with a little change at half time, I think it gave us more of a foot.
He gave them a kicking.
Well, he every right to, because we were so lethargic. Get on muscle. And what made it even worse for me was we were playing a team. We were on very much a similar run to ourselves, and we were allowing them to boss us.
Lost 5 away games on the spin.
You know, exactly. I just thought we allowed. But
sometimes though, I think. Sometimes when you're on a run like that as the away team, you've got nothing to lose. You're not the one under pressure. You would be saying, Eddie Howe would have been saying to them, the natives are restless, blood. You can keep this crowd quiet for 15 minutes. The way things are going, you'll get in the back. It was weird. A commentary team that, when I was in Mutiny, that the commentator quite obviously wanted Bournemouth to win, and the co-commentator quite obviously wanted Everton to win. Carragher sometimes, the old guard drops, and it was because he was you know, what they've got to do. I'm sure he said we've at one stage.
I'm sure he said we about something. Someone's pointed it out.
He did. He said we, and then he was like, you know. But when Carragher was talking, I was thinking if I was a Bournemouth fan, I'd be fucking living there, because he was like, need to get the ball down and we just got to turn the screw. And you're thinking, he's supposed to be impartial, mate. And I know he's you know, we know what he is, but no, it was one of them in the first. It was a terrible game again of football. Both teams looked better than us in the first half an hour, definitely. Both teams, you could tell, weren't fully confident. But Everton, I think the best thing was we got in 0-0. And then obviously the reaction, you could tell within a minute of the second half, they'd upped it. There was more energy. The crowd were feeding off the referee. And that's when Goodison's at its best, is when there's either a naughty tackle or the referee's an absolute...
He was terrible. He was horrendous. Some of his decisions were just, and I'm glad that they've been picked up as well by people, and I'm glad Silva said something about it as well, because they were horrendous. He was absolutely horrendous. How in a game could you end up booking 5 Everton players and none of their players?
The lad in midfield, I'm going to forget his name again, the black kid in midfield alongside Gosling, Cernier, is it, or whoever. He must have done about 18 fouls. He smashed Gomez in the face and Gomez got booked by shove. It was just that you could see it and they were going, oh, no booking there. And there's one on Luckman where Fingy does him first, Gosling does him on the Achilles, and then Cook just smashes him. The pair of them, he gives you a free kick, need to get booked. And Garner got booked for winning the ball, literally winning the ball.
Yeah, he won the ball outside the box.
It was just no, he didn't get booked. He got booked on the halfway line, and then Gomez, they both got booked. When Garner won it was just ridiculous, like, and he was poor. I mean, mentioned the Brooks one before, that was actually a good decision. It's probably the only decision he made that was good, because Brooks he's looking to go down, the kid, and he's got hold of Garner, he drags him down. Garner puts his foot through his legs and actually catch him, and he just throws himself forward. The referee seeing it, and like I said, Souness and Redknapp, I think, and Carragher and Robbie, the other cop right, Robbie Keane, was like, nah, it wasn't a penalty. Like, you wonder why he went down, because he seemed to be away from him. But I thought Gomez should have been sent off. There's no question about it. 3 times after he'd been booked. The one when he hits the fella in the face, I mean, I'd be amazed if he doesn't get done anyway. In the box.
I thought that was not on that.
No, but he raised his arm.
No, but I think
love to do
no,
that
but I think that with that one, no, I think that is that the lad hitting his arm, or is that his arm hitting his head? No, but
when you watch him, mate, he throws him. But he could have been sent off 3 times. He does cook after the ball, and normally you see referees, they can't win.
The one second half where he dribbles out and then has a chance to put his foot through it and then lets him have it, and then the one he catches him. I couldn't understand. I would have took him off for myself, because I just thought he was having one of those games where he was in a mood. He was getting front because he was getting kicked and the referee wasn't protecting him, and he was given. What was the problem was when they'd do something, he'd let play go on. The minute we'd done exactly the same, he was blown up, and you could see our players getting frustrated with it, and Gomez in particular, because Gosling kept standing on his foot and the other fella was pumping, and it was horrible. You know, fair play to that. You rough teams up, and that's what they did. But what was weird, second half, was for such a good football inside, how many times they just hoofed the ball. It was bizarre. I think it was a total change in the way they played. I couldn't believe it. I mean, I was them, I had to just carried on playing. It might have had something to do with the conditions, though. I mean, it was bad.
But we weren't hoofing it.
I thought we started going a little bit longer second half.
It was even picked up by the commentary team. It was like, why have they changed so much? Because we just kept the ball down. It was only the last... When the outside they got the ball edge of our box and tried little through balls, that's when he looked dangerous. But
I thought that's one of the reasons we got back into the game or started playing better was because we were going a little bit more direct, and the amount of balls that were going up to Richarlison, and obviously Richarlison had been told, he must have been told second half, stop making life easy for Cook, because second half I thought it was a big difference where Cook first half, anything in the air he dealt with it, but second half Richarlison had nothing else in his mind but to get in his face.
I know, but
I thought it worked.
Got a jump.
But I thought that worked massively. He started jumping, and not all right. Maybe he needs a little bit more self-belief.
There's got to be.
But he stopped Cook getting clean headers, and because Gylfi had obviously been told again, pushed right up. Gylfi started to win the second ball. So rather than and also every time Aki touched the ball, it goes 5 yards. He's got a terrible first touch. And again, we kept on jumping on that as well. And I just thought that helped us get back in the game as well. The ref, you know, people having a go at the ref helped, but that as well. Because then it looked like...
We played 10 yards further.
We looked like we were having a go, and we were getting the ball higher up. And where we'd been losing the ball in midfield, we were circumventing that. And getting higher up the pitch.
We got Luchman on the ball a bit more. We got Bernard on the ball a little bit more, although, you know, it was fleeting. But when he was on it, you know, you looked as though we could open them up. And Garner and Gomez started finding plays with the passes, which makes a big difference.
Well, I think they made a really good... I watched match today too, and I think they made... Don't repeat this too often, but Jermaine Jenas made a really good point.
Was that before or after he said Bournemouth should have been in the ref's face?
But what he said that, and he was right. He said, and it might have been, no, actually, I might be giving him a it might have been Darren Fletcher actually. We said that actually what the difference was that Everton first half, and he was absolutely right. He said Everton first half, we're getting the ball and then just trying to move it dead quick. He said, but second half, when they just got hold of the ball and made the first pass simple, and then that meant the second pass could be better, and he was absolutely right. Gomez just started making the first pass easy, keeping the ball and then getting past their press, because the first pass was simple.
We were in the first half, because we started poorly and we couldn't really get into it. We were trying to force it, and so when you're trying to force something against the team who's pressing you, we were giving the ball away, or we were overhitting it, or it was going out. Or, and in the second half we took a bit more care with the ball. When you take, we've said it, lots of people in the comments have said it many times, that when you take more care with the ball, you're naturally going to be in the game, or you're naturally going to open teams up. Because if you're just forcing it for the sake of it, and players are losing it, you're under pressure all the time.
There was a bit more grit as well, as you said. And you know what, before our goal, the first goal, really good, you know, we had the ball around their box and they tried to break, and just little moments in games, you're going to say this for both goals actually, Michael Keane comes in and wins the ball, and he gets it back to Luchman gets through, plays, the ball ends up going to Coleman and we win the corner. But that tackle by Michael Keane, where we've been almost in this game and other games where we let teams get up and break, he came in and he was there and he stopped them breaking, and it kept the ball alive. We get the corner, we put it in, it goes out to Dean. Dean puts an absolutely brilliant ball in the box, and Zuma, who stayed up, and he gets a goal. He gets his goal. It's a great header. Goalkeeper, what are you doing? This is what I was saying about last week. What Pickford, why they don't like them coming off the line. I think it's for moments like that.
If you watch it, like, and he pointed this out, if you watch Begovic, he's looking for where his defenders are, and he sees no one's there, so he thinks, I've got to do something, because if I stay on my line, he just deads it in. No,
but if he stays on his line, he's got a better chance of saving.
Well, he has, but I think he just thought, no one's gone to Zuma, I better do something, so he tries to make himself big, jumps like the star, but it's a great header to Zuma to get it into that angle.
Postage stamp.
Really good, and that was what we needed. And we'd had a couple of opportunities before that, we remember.
Well, there's the one off the line.
Charlison has a header that he, you know, he's on the floor.
Did you see it though?
Gets up,
if you watch it, the cross cut, he's on the floor doing his holding his face.
Yeah.
And then he jumps up miraculously. Header's terrible, but it bounces back to him.
It's spawny, like, isn't it?
Oh,
it goes through Cook's legs and it's Aki on the knee. And he was giving it the Aldi hotel straight away, wasn't it? And the fact the referee has got a... I know we could throw up shadows and stuff.
Nobody thought it was in.
But no, it was bang on the line. But you know, that's what the goal line technology for any fans of other teams. If that his watch doesn't buzz, because the first thing Taylor done was went like that, and it didn't happen. So we carried on, so you knew anyway. We'd been on, we'd had a bit of hard lines with that. We'd had the Richarlison diving header as well, haven't we? What was that after the goal? But we made the breakthrough, and it was a relief. It was a brilliant. It was Luca Dean, just brilliant play. But we were claiming a penalty for the corner, and it did it. Aki's hand, but it was too close. I don't think he could have given up. His hand was up, but I don't think he could have given up.
It was given in the World Cup final.
It was, to be fair, but We score off it, great ball. Luca Dean's just got that quality, hasn't he? It looked as though King was going to put the challenge in as he knocked it past him. I was thinking he'd stick his leg out the penalty here, but he didn't, so he whipped it.
Yeah, the way he whipped it in was brilliant. Great header, and you know, an hour gone. I think the main thing is it does double, doesn't it? It settles you down a little bit because everyone's panicking a little bit. But the other side of it is, like you've just said, you're playing a team that have lost the last 5 away games, so they're suddenly going, oh, not again. We've played well for an half or whatever, and yet we're a goal behind, you know, and the conditions are against us, and they'll feel like they should have had decisions, and to be fair, I thought we did all right after that. We were okay. We didn't give too much away, and we tried to keep playing.
Pickford made a superb block from Fraser come out.
Yeah,
he just made himself. But he done really well yesterday.
But it wasn't until, to be honest, it wasn't until like the last 5 minutes I started feeling a little bit nervous because they started.
We kept giving the ball
away, and they started to win free kicks. And that's where they started.
The referee gave a couple.
No, I know, and he was terrible.
I mean, Walcott made a brilliant tackle on their player, the pair
in the corner.
A full pelt just hit it. The ball was won.
Yeah.
And he gave a free kick, and Walcott was like, did I not get the... He got the ball, and he gave a free kick. Then we give the one that you talked about before with Gomez. We do all the hard work, smash it away, then he tries to be clever, gives a free kick away, and you're thinking, you're just putting yourself under... These hadn't got anything at that stage. There was nothing. And you're thinking, you know, they even tried to bring another Liverpool player on, because that might work. And, you know, it was just so frustrating that we go and give... The one that led to the corner, we broke. Garner
gives it away.
Thingy's running.
All you have to do is put it round the corner.
So smash it long. Look when he's running. And he hits a ball flat, and they break, and they get another. And you're like, oh my God, why are we trying to throw this game away? Because that's how it felt. Because maybe when you're in a good, confident run, you'd take more care, or you wouldn't be as edgy. But when you're trying to get a win, you need that win. You need that clean sheet. And again, the clean sheet was vital yesterday.
And Keane, because that's the other thing. We were leaving spaces, and I think one of the reasons for that was we had so many players booked in important positions that people couldn't go in throwing tackles in. So it left space. They get that one through, and Michael Keane makes a brilliant tackle.
Incredible.
That's
as good. That saved us the game.
You know, from Gosling, and he ends up coming on for a
Someone said to me about Keane that he nearly gave us a goal in the first half. He almost cost us a goal, and I'm sure
one in the second half. I'm
sure they were talking about when Pickford put him in the shit and he had to stretch.
No, there was one where he did just give it away, and they broke, and he hit it into the side netting. That was that's the
what
mistake.
I'm saying is like the little thing. I've seen a few things. The agenda against him does my head in. Listen, I just think he's a decent centre back. That's the same as Diola. I don't think Zuma's amazing. Some people do. I don't think Mina's shown that he's amazing. But there's an agenda against him from some Evertonians, and it's sad because you can't see what's actually in front of you. Everybody, bar a handful of people, and I mean everybody, Carragher, Souness, all kinds of people on BBC, Everton, Marco Silva, know that the play. Everyone said he was outstanding yesterday, but you'll get some Evertonians who were like, no, he's crap. And it's grim that you have that preconception about your own players when they play well. Because for the first half, Zuma was horrendous, so don't come back with he was outstanding when he certainly wasn't. But Keane made 2 or 3 outstanding blocks. And the thing I loved about him was he got his first booking yesterday, centre back by the way, hadn't been booked, that's how good he's been. And when he smashed Fraser, superb. Just take him out.
I'd like to see him smash more people.
He should do, really, to be fair, but I just love because he spun Fraser in the end. He had to, because it was a terrible ball across. It might have even been Zuma or Gomez, one of them. It's a horrendous ball to him. And it was he's ended up smashing them, and that's what you have to do, and then Pickford makes the block. But we done well, we got blocks in when we had to. Pickford done well, he even come off his line and made a punch.
2 punches, stage, yeah. 2 punches.
And you have to, I think in some respects, we needed that having to fight and battle, because I know that you'd questioned it last week. Have we got it? And when you think about it, you're thinking, hang on, have we actually got it? Because we've seen, teams like Brighton, score after an hour against us and then just don't not even attempt to come forward and dig in and they ground results out. If we ground any results out, well,
we
yes,
did. And all right, it was against the side that you'd expect us as a team to be able to grind the result out against, but we did it, and that's the most important thing. And there's a lot of teams in the Premier League, said this loads of times, there's a lot of teams in the Premier League that we should be grinding results out of. You're likely to grind out more points than you are to smash teams out. The teams at the top will grind more points out than...
I believe like Liverpool were horrendous at the weekend and have won the game. Yeah. No one cares, they've won the game. We haven't had many of that. We've had Leicester, Watford and Newcastle and haven't been able to grind results out, and we should have been at Goodison. So that was a big thing for me yesterday.
United have gone to Wembley and ground the results out. Keepers
Pele in goal for them, like the curve was
you know, they've got Pele summers ago. No, they've ground, and that's what we've had to do. We've had to grind it out, and it was nice that, you know, in that I don't know where he got 5 minutes from, by the way. No injuries.
One in the first
half,
goal, and there was a couple of stoppages in the first half. In 1 minute. Not that it didn't matter, but don't get me wrong. I wasn't like saying, "Oh, please play 3" because I just wanted it over. But 5 minutes. Some games, Leicester, they get Leicester game 3 minutes, and there was loads of stoppages in the Leicester game. Rhyme or reason was he wanted them to score. The horrible little beats. But
we got listen, we got the second goal, and again, we get the ball on the left. We're trying to break. Lookman's trying to get down. He gives the ball away, but you know, goes and wins it back. Yeah, and then we keep the ball. Nice little, just trying to keep the ball, not do nothing stupid. Lookman breaks, and it's a, you know what? It's a lovely pullback.
You're thinking, you just go to the corner flag.
Yeah, because
you're looking at the clock going, it's over now. Just run to the corner flag. But he done it. It was a good ball back, and it was a fantastic finish by Dominic. Absolutely fantastic finish, near post, brilliant. Didn't even, and you know what? That's probably when he's at his best. The instinct, when he hasn't got to think about it, just do it. But it's weird. Seeing a few people, and I think a couple even in our Patreon comments were like, "Oh, that's it now. He's got to be our number 9." And you're like, he's better coming off the bench at the moment. He can't. He's played games up front and been ineffective. He's better because he's quick and mobile. When he comes on in a game, when they're a bit, there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing. Excuse me. There's nothing wrong with him developing his game by being an impact sub, a 25-minute player. While let someone do the batter and ramble. The debate come on and fresh and.
The debate will ramble on till we actually buy,
of course, a
number 9, really, only, you know, a proper number 9. That debate will go on because none of them, you know, there's talk of the weekend of Tolson being up for sale and obviously Nias up for sale and then Carlton's come out himself going, I don't want to be regarded as a kid. I'm a senior player as far as I'm concerned because I've been here as long as anybody, which is good from an attitude point of view because he doesn't want to be treated like, you know, he's
like, but he still is a kid.
Yeah, he is, but it's good that I
know what it's good that in his mind he thinks he's a
because otherwise some players think, well, I'm a kid so I can get away with stuff, so they will get away with stuff, but he doesn't want to feel like that. But
he took a goal,
but Richarlison yesterday showed why in some games he's not a back to goal centre forward, you know, so that's, you know, that's a massive hole in this side. I think
I think the issue is, you see, you could move that side all around. Really, if you got another striker, Richarlison could go back to the left, Bernard Lookman could go to the right, or vice versa. Bernard could go to 10, and you'd still fit those 3 exciting players into your team. What about with a focal point?
I mean, Lookman he was good yesterday. Yeah. You know, I think for me now, I want to see him continue in this side for the rest of the season, and I think,
but he can only stay in with performances.
But I don't necessarily agree with that though, because I really do think that where we are in the league means that, I'm not saying we indulge him, but I just think, what's the alternative? Okay, there is the alternative of Bernard. He's not though. For me, yeah, but he's had half of a season, Baz, and he's done nothing with it. So I think now Lookman has to be given the other half of the season, and there will be times, of course, there will be times where Lookman will go out for Theo. But I think that role has to be reversed now.
I agree. My mate, listen, you heard Marco Silva's comments. Marco Silva loves him. You see the ability, he loves him. Lookman playing like he did yesterday will be a starter, because he put although he played in patches yesterday, you get that from your wings. Bernard did. Bernard did. But what Lookman showed me yesterday was he's up for the fight now. Where I think in the first bit of the season he wasn't. He was sulking a little. Well, he was terrible, let's be honest. And then he's got better and better. And then it was flashes. He was coming off the bench and it was a little cameo of ability. And then you get a start like against Newcastle, wasn't it? And he nearly did anything. Rubbish. Well, there you go. So, but he then come on at City and he was excellent at Manchester City in that little half an hour. And little bits and pieces he started getting on more and more, and he's putting it together now. He played quite well against Lincoln in patches, and he did yesterday. His patches got bigger yesterday. He got more involved in the defensive side of the game. I think the thing with Lookman is, and it's the only thing question mark over him for me, is where is his best position, because he's not a. It doesn't really matter as such because we haven't got a striker who wants balls into the box anyway, but he's not really a winger because he doesn't really go to the line or and cross things. He's more of he's a link player. He's number 10.
Yeah.
Because he can go both ways, he can shoot with both feet, he's mobile. So, maybe Gylfi might be looking over his shoulder a little bit. But at the moment, the way into the team is quite obviously Theo.
But I think that when he plays though, and this is the difference, is that when he plays, he can move from the right to the left, and then even spend it, and but that's why it works.
Being able to switch.
So with having that little bit of room in the middle
Theo
of the park.
Doesn't, does it?
No, Theo sticks to the right, and that's his game. And I think that's where that versatility works, is that they can switch it over and give the opposition something else to think about. But I do think he can play that number 10 role, like a real split striker role. And for me, I don't think for most of the teams it wouldn't be Gylfi Sigurdsson missing out, because for me, I think Gylfi Sigurdsson's is still the best footballer we've got in the team for what he does. I just think he needs to play deeper, and I think that role can be. There's still that role for him there, so I think
I think the only issue is the amount of times you need Garner. Then I'm not sure whether Gylfi and Gomez could do it all the time as a pair, because I don't know which one would take the responsibility of winning the ball back enough. I think against better teams we may get picked off.
Better teams, yeah.
But for a lot of teams, it could be Gylfi and Gomez, or it could be Gylfi and Garner, and why does Gomez have to play every single game? No. That's the thing, is that, and we all love Gomez and we hope he stays, but I think we've also got to be open to the point that it could be changed. It could be a midfield of Garner and Gylfi for one game, and Gomez is, and if Gylfi doesn't do it, Gomez comes, or Garner isn't doing it. But you're right, there's times when it can be Gylfi and Gomez, and as the two, as we proved at Burnley, went away to Burnley, which was a dog game, really. It was a battle, Boxing Day, a fight. Them two were in midfield, the best we played. We were excellent, and we were excellent because we had two lads in midfield who were real footballers. And I don't want to undermine Garner, because what Garner does is really important as well in his job. But the issue is, particularly in games where we've got a force to play, is that if you're giving someone, it's like having Tony Hibbert, right? Tony Hibbert was a brilliant defender at right back. Not many players got. Ryan Giggs saying he's the toughest player he played against. The issue was when Tony Hibbert had to go forward. It's like giving Hibbert all the ball and expecting him to create something. He was fucking horrendous. He get one right every now and again. Remember a great ball he put in for Dunk against Leeds, but struggling after that. But defensively, there was no issue with Tony Hibbert. Running back towards your own goal, he was fine. He was a bit blind in one eye, like Coleman's been, and our right back seems to be. But and that's the way I feel about Garner. I think at what he does defensively, it's fantastic. He wins the ball. I mean, sometimes, particularly against Leicester, he had so many recoveries because he gave the ball away on his first touch. I remember Villa fans saying this: he wins so much because his touch is not great, and he has to go and win his own thing back. But he's great at nicking the ball, Garner. But when he's having a lot of possession, gives the ball away so much, and you just think if Gylfi had that same.
But also, it's a 90-minute game. You can have times in the game where you can have times in games where you have to change things up and you have to look to be more attacking.
Imagine playing Gylfi and Gomez and getting, I don't know, 2-0 up or something, or 3-0 up or whatever, and after an hour then going on user coming off and Garner going and shut the game.
Or you're playing somebody and you know, you look at like the Newcastle game, and you look at that and you think, well, that night could we have done this and done that and just put 2 in midfield and said we're gonna have a go at you. You know, there's got to be different variants while you're playing the game. You have to be able to manage.
And maybe 3-5-2 is a way round Garner. Do you know what I mean? Like we did at Burnley, but maybe your 2 then becomes Lookman and Richarlison, or Lookman and Calvert-Lewin, or Lookman and I don't know, so whoever it is. Maybe Lookman's the link player there, and you've got your full backs on, and Bernard sits out for that one, and then he comes. So you've got to have that ability to versatility.
Do you think the manager knows his best team?
No, but we've said this before. Is there a best team anymore? I don't know.
No, but do you think I know that
his default team.
Yeah,
for me, I think that was probably. I think it was probably close to yesterday.
But it's changed loads of times.
Of course, because at first Walcott would have people say he's been shite. He started the season really well. Scored at Bournemouth, played all right at Wolves, scored against Southampton at home, and was was looking good. Had a couple of assists, and then he dropped off a little bit, and then he hasn't been able to get his form. He's gone that way really. He hasn't been able to get his form back. So that would have altered. I think his centre backs have altered. I think Michael Keane. I think if everyone would have been 100% fit, Zuma and Mina would have started the season for Silva.
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
But Keane started the season and has been our best. No one can deny he's been our best centre back. Whether he has, mate.
My Ravens deny that one.
He's been our best centre back this season in terms of performances. I'm not saying he is long term. I'm just saying at this moment, solely on performances, he's in there on merit. Mina, I'm like you. I think once he settles down, he's going to be it's going to be someone to play with Mina. If Zuma stays and he's making all the right noises now and he's starting to say little things and he's quite vocal on the official website and all that, if he stays, it wouldn't surprise me if it is those 2 as a default 2.
I think what's interesting.
I think your right backs are probably.
I think what is but I think that's the interesting thing. No, I think that because the team is evolving in front of our eyes, and I think that's where the manager. I'm not saying he doesn't know his best side, but he's starting to see that some players don't necessarily fit into the way he wants to play. Now there might be some people out there who say, well, maybe it's the manager getting things wrong. Well, if that's the way people feel, that's fine. But what I would say is that we have moved on from a situation where, late November, mid-November, we were looking at that team going, looks a decent team, and then you're 2 months down the road and you're thinking there's 3-4 positions there that could change, could be completely changed. We were all people wanted Richarlison on the left, some people wanted him up front, some people want him back on the left. Lookman wasn't getting a look in. You weren't necessarily talking about the right back position or the midfielders, so lots has changed, and what will continue to change. And I suppose that's where for this season the manager has to embed his principles to the players that he wants to keep, and start between him and Brand, start looking at the players that can fill those voids.
Other players have to step up, don't they? I don't know about you. I thought Jens Olsen would have a good season this season. I thought with 2 fast players either side of him, in Walcott and Richarlison, just to start, and then Bernard. I thought, he'll be great, Olsen. We're now ready to let him go. So that's changed, and I think that's normal. You've got a manager he's come in June. Right, okay, we all know they've been evaluating the squad since last, for 12 months, but he's come in June. He's 6 months into a job. He's got 6 players who it is. The rest aren't his. So you've got ideas. He already said himself he had ideas about players, and they've changed when he's worked with them, and he will do, because you might look at me on the outside and go, he's great at doing that and I can work with him and all, but then you see me in training and you're like, or I'm not producing it, and then you start going, well, he's alright, but actually I can get better because we need consistency. Your ratings set it up. Your ratings, when we done that on the Tuesday topic or whatever it was that we did it on for Peyton, said it all for me. Not one player was over 7, and yet we've got good players. I look at our squad. This is the best squad we've had for a while. Technically, I'm not saying it works, because David Moyes' teams quite obviously work better than what our teams worked at the moment. But look at the squad overall as the technical ability of the players. We should be well higher. We should be well higher, and we're not, because the players aren't consistent, and that's what it is. So it will evolve. It's like the 3-5-2. To save Seamus Coleman, he might have to play right wing back, because he doesn't have to. He's not having to go into our corner flag as much. So that might give him another 12 months in our team, because you're moving him a bit higher up the pitch. It might not. Theo Walcott, we all thought would be a mainstay, because he's been a Premier. He's done well in the Premier League. Now at the minute, you're looking at him and going, he doesn't deserve to play. I don't want players in the team who don't deserve to play, and that's how it works. And if it's Seamus Coleman, then so be it. If it's Gylfi, if it's Garner, if it's Richarlison, so be it. If he's not doing enough, take him out the team. But this is the only way you're going to get anywhere. The same with Jordan Pickford.
Yeah.
You know,
I don't think any of the players can really. There's not many in that team or that squad, even though, that can look at the position in the table and say, well, I've performed, and we should be
every week.
Yeah, I've performed every week, and I should be better, or I should be doing something better.
Let me ask you this, right? Say we finish top 8. I personally still think we'll finish 7th, but say we finish top 8, right? With 8th, say, with Silva, but he gets a good feel for his team and he's ready to go. Was that any worse than Pep Guardiola taking Man City? He was second, I think, when he took over, weren't he? And he finished 4th, scraped into the Champions League, winning the last game of the season, or the last couple of games of the season, and then going, right, I need this and this to make this team work the next season. They were fantastic. Now, Klopp done it at Liverpool, took over, they were 8th after 8 games, finished 8th after 38 games. So your managers will. That to me is a natural thing with Marco Silva. If he had 16 players who were all his, and we were still sat here going, doesn't know his best team, then that you start questioning the manager. I don't really think we can question that side of it just yet, because it's not as if the 6 players who he's brought are not performing.
Yeah.
It's the ones who've been here and maybe let a couple of managers down who aren't performing, or certainly let the likes of Koeman down. So I think that's where we're at.
We're still a 1-3 team.
Yeah,
we were a 1-3 team last season. Under
managers,
So that's where we are at the moment, and it'll be touch and go. Between 7th and where we are now, there's 2 points is that if we actually, we beat
2 points.
If we beat Leicester,
we'd be comfortable.
We'd be 7th. You know what I mean? And
they've lost again at home. Beat us. They've lost. They've had Cardiff. They've had Cardiff, Everton, Southampton. Now, if you'd have said to Leicester fans, which one will you win? I bet you Everton wouldn't have been in the game. You said.
No,
Watford scraped the win at Palace. It's all them teams.
We're all the same.
We're all the same. And what's separating anyone from them is consistency, and that's we've got. And when I look at those squads, and I've done this because some cop-out was in ours last night and we were talking about it, and they like to, pat you on the head or say it. But if you look at those squads, then teams, Everton are comfortably the 7th best team ability-wise. But if you're not consistent, it doesn't mean a thing. It means nothing. United the other week, people were going, they won't finish top 6. Now, they'll finish above Arsenal quite comfortably. Arsenal look like they're going the other way now. So that's how it can change. If you're not consistent and you can't get your points, it doesn't matter how good you are, and that's what he's got to find, hasn't he? Because you're right, we're all the same. Wolves, they're the same. Leicester, us, Brighton, West Ham. West Ham get beat at home by shite, and then have beaten like United and have beaten Arsenal this season, and so they're decent against like the better side. So and he come and beat us, of course. But you wouldn't put it past them going to Fulham and getting beat 2. I know they won there, but a game like that and losing it because they're inconsistent as well. So that's it. I think that's just the way it is. But, massive. The big thing for me was the gritty.
Yeah, we dug in. We got the 3 points.
We played miles better than that.
Yeah, not got anything.
And deserved to win games and not won them. So yesterday, because it was quite even, the stats showed you it was quite even.
I think again, it's one of those where you look at it and say, well, it's about next week now. Can you? It'll be a tough game next week. You know, Southampton are coming into a little bit of form, and it's whether you can dig in and do that again and do what you need to do to get the result.
Is it draw a decent result there?
See how we play. No, I don't know. Then we'll have the cup game, then we'll have Huddersfield away, and it's.
I think if we win, if we win at Southampton, that's a massive result for us, because I think that sets us up perfectly then for the next few games. But
you know, away, we've got to pick up more away wins. You know what I mean?
Away. Playing a team who's in the bottom 3 away from home, I think, or 4th from bottom. Are they 4th?
They're out of it now, yeah.
So 4th from bottom. You know, we bemoaned when we had to go to Liverpool, City, whatever. You can't, you know, Arsenal, United on the run. Well, you can't moan at going to Southampton who were near the bottom, or, you know, when we go to Huddersfield, you know, you've got to go to these grounds and win.
And those games, what'll win you those games is digging in.
Yeah.
Is digging in. Putting your head on the line, body in front of shots. That's what wins you those games.
Taking care with the ball.
Yeah, and looking after the ball, because it's not necessarily about, with these teams, it's not necessarily about, and I say the same for the Bournemouth game as well, it's not about being absolutely amazing. It's, you know, it's that first, getting that first pass and putting 3 passes together and opening a team up, because they're not great sides, but if you don't look after the ball and in your own half, then suddenly you're going to be on the back foot. And I think sometimes we massively just overdo it, when at times I'm thinking to myself, just put the ball into a channel and get up the pitch and then start from a higher point.
I agree.
It's going back for me.
No, but it's been able to mix and match. The best teams are versatile, aren't they? You're never going to play the same way all the time, because this league has got so many different styles in it. So many teams you can you know, stop you playing a certain way. So yeah, you're right. Go there.
3 points.
3 points.
3 points this week. You can enjoy your week now.
Yeah.
No stress this week.
First home win since November.
No. Aye.
But
2 wins and 2 wins out of 3 in 2019.
Should have really been 3, but
keep that ratio up and
that'll be alright.
Be alright. Yeah, there you have it. Let us know your thoughts in the comments. Are you happy with the win? I mean, we haven't really give the ref enough grief, really, but, you know, he helped the atmosphere, I suppose, at the ground.
He was horrendous.
He was horrendous.
For both teams,
absolutely
he was dreadful, but
horrendous.
More so for us.
But we'll leave it there. Yeah, let us know your thoughts in the comments. If you haven't subscribed, please do so. Click the bell for alerts and join us on Patreon, and also join us on Facebook as well. If you haven't liked us on Facebook, give us a little like on there as well. We'd appreciate that as well. Share the love. Thanks for watching. We'll see you later.